In this video I am back for another race in the FIAs. Now it's still very early in the stages of my efforts to get back to A+, and this race was a real struggle for me because things don't completely go to plan, but stay tuned and I'll show you how I get on. Hey guys, Eerie is here and welcome along to another video. If this is your first time here and you like watching all sorts of sim racing related stuff, subscribe now and click the bell icon so you get notified of every video I upload and you don't miss a thing. Now, as I mentioned in the intro, we're back in the FIAs at one of the more enjoyable tracks, I find anyway, on the game. Cent Crew, or Cra, or however you want to call it. Now I wish they utilised this track a little bit more. As a result of the fact that they haven't, I am not overly confident around here, sheerly from an experience standpoint. But if you've missed the last couple of videos, I have just started my journey back to A+ after a miserable streak on the game, which was completely my fault. So this is one of those races I will consider a success if I can just escape with a positive driver rating boost. So we get things started here in quali, which was made much more difficult than I'd hoped after we encountered these donuts here, who clearly misread the word qualifying for race. Now, just because it's a track that I enjoy here, as I always say, it doesn't mean that I'm any good at it. These tracks are a bit longer and therefore a lot harder to master with limited time. But thanks to TRL Susu as ever for being the fastest Lexus on the board and my yardstick. He's consistently the quickest guy and I use all of his braking points, gear selections and turn-ins to get myself up to speed, so I wanted to just say a big shout out to him. So after this challenging qualifying, my lap time was a 3:08.7, about 1.5 seconds off the leader, but I'm happy-ish as it was yet another very long lap following the likes of Suzuka a couple of races ago. As a result, for a guy like myself who has to jump in having had a long and particularly boring day in the office, these longer laps are a pig to learn and perfect, and I consider anything above about 150 a long lap, so this defo falls into that category. But either way, happy with that time and I'm going to take it into the race. Here we are then, it's race time. We've got 5 laps here, and now that we're back on the rise, we have no residual issues from my form or my hissy fits previously. My safety rating is back at 99, where it should be, to be quite honest. So the lobby here is reflective of just my driver rating. My quali time, as you would have seen, put me in 11th, which was pretty much smack bang in the middle of the pack for this one. I'm car 16. And my lap was about 1.5 seconds back. So remember guys, any finish above what my door number expects should mean a positive rise in driver rating, which is what I'm aiming for in this one. As always for the first lap, just going to try and keep it cool, calm and composed, because we do not want to be the one to bin it early doors. That is just going to be an absolute disaster and not part of the plan for this one, because remember guys, it's a marathon, not a sprint to get back up to A+. And speaking of binning it on the first lap, we're about to see somebody do it here, and it is the worst person to do it. The yellow flags are out and the leader, who was in the McLaren, has binned it. So an absolute disaster for him, but we are up to 10th place now. I'm going to try and stick in my rhythm and then start looking, once we've started to relax a little bit, to make a move on this R8 and try and get that 9th place. Well and truly in our rhythm now, I'm going to start to look to make a move on the Audi, and this move comes earlier than expected. Just the opportunity arose, so I chucked it up the inside. He was actually quite receptive to it, which was quite surprising, but either way we are now up to 9th. Rejoining the action on lap number 3 now, the tyres are beginning to feel the heat a little bit. I've been trying to look after them, but I haven't really done the greatest job in hindsight, and we're coming down to what I believe is the trickiest part of this circuit, and that is the kink down this long, fast, I guess you could call it, straight. Now I hit my usual braking point 125 metres out, but I'm going to try and brake and turn at the same time, but that isn't happening, and I'm going to get onto the grass. And as a result there, I'm going to get myself a half-second penalty, which I assumed I will be taking this lap at the next set of penalty gates. So I'm going to get off the racing line to serve like the gentleman racer I am, but that wasn't the case. So I just bounced off the rev limiter and end up losing a position to the Porsche. I'm slightly upset by that, to say the very least, but I'll just have to suck it up and serve it next time round. You would have also seen that even before I got to the gate that I eventually didn't serve my penalty at, I made a mistake which lost me 9th and 10th. So the last 30 seconds was a bit of a disaster, but we're going to get a gift here as the Portuguese guy is just sat for some reason at the side of the road. I'm not sure what happened to him there, but I'll take it considering the lap we've just had, and we're back up to 11th as we start lap number 4. So these set of gates, the ones coming up, are actually the set of gates that I'll be serving my penalty at. So I'm going to get off the racing line again, serve it, and in turn lose 11th to the Beamer. Now looking back, there's a big gap to those behind, and we're still well above my door number, so I'm going to keep my head down. Getting back to A+ is going to be a marathon, not a sprint, and even though it hasn't been the greatest lap or so, I am not gonna lose my head. And anything can and usually does happen in racing, that's why we all love it. So I'm going to, as I say, keep my head, see if we can stay in the fight here to be in a position to take advantage of any mistakes further up the road. Now as we sit here in the BMW slipstream, the opportunity to take advantage of people having issues up the road is gonna happen right now. The yellows are going to come out here, and we are going to pass 2 cars who I presume have come together. That is an absolute disaster for both of them, but wonderful news for us, something we certainly needed, and we jump back up to 10th. The Beamer, meanwhile, who we lost a place to just a moment ago, is here coming through this left-hander, going to get up onto the curbs, and we're going to get a run on him down the outside across the bridge. But the speed differential coming out the exit of that corner is going to be so big that we're actually going to make the move before we even get to the corner here, and we're back up to 9th place. Final lap here, and I'm going to be forced to go defensive here into turn number 1 because of how close the Beamer is behind. That's going to make the corner tighter, which is going to allow him up the inside here, which however is going to turn out to be the outside for this left-hander. I'm going to brake as late as I can here. We both do a good job to give each other space, which is quite refreshing, to be quite honest. I'm happy for him to take the place at this point. There's plenty of long straights coming up, but we don't have to wait for that. He's going to miss the turn in and go wide, gifting us 9th once again. And crucially, as I struggle here trying to get this beast turned in with the tyres, he is well out of our slipstream now. So I just need to keep it on track, and we should be good to hang on to this position. As we come around here, just trying to keep it on track for the final lap, I just wanted to mention something. Somebody jumped into our Discord the other day and said they didn't know that the channel had one. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to let everyone know that we do. Now if Discord is your thing, I've put a link to the Discord below. Come in and join us. It's where we and I hang out in between videos. There is everyone from beginners all the way up to live event world finalists in there. We share loads of tips and tricks. There's plenty of practice lobbies too, and it's where I advertise my practice lobbies when I do them, and there are various community championships in there too. So plenty going on in there. come check it out. There's some great guys over there. As I say, everybody's welcome and we have a great deal of fun. So coming to the very end of the lap and the race now, you can just about see the 3 up ahead. It's a shame really. We could have been with them, I think, had it not been for a couple of mistakes and penalties. But like I mentioned earlier, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Let's see as we come across the line here to take 9th if we've managed to attain our goal and got an increase in driver rating. So as our 9th place is confirmed here, looking at the graph, there's only a small jump after this one, just under 300 points, leaving us at 37,112 now. But as I say, that's another step to our goal, however small, so I will take it. Also, as you can see on the graph, after a monumental drop, when I was disengaged and demotivated, we've, I believe, stopped the rot now. I feel good to go, and I anticipate only going up from here. But for now guys, that is the end of the video. If you enjoyed the video, please do hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already. Thanks again so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.